What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another very special mile of the PlayStation Drive. This is episode 62, and we are going to get right into it. My name is Matt. I'll be your host for this wonderful Journeys events. I'm joined, as always, by the Supreme Court of Canada himself, Captain Canada, Court Lalonde. What's going on, Court?
Hold on. Oh, wow. See? Got me muted. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. How you doing?
A little technical difficulties on my side, which is very rare, but it happens.
It happens. Sometimes technical difficulties happen in this wild world of the internet that we live in.
Do they, though?
I mean, probably.
Probably all the time.
I spent like 5 minutes, what was it, a week or two ago, muted the whole time on YouTube, but it's okay. The podcast came out okay.
These are facts, actually. I just totally forgot about your muted.
See?
Yeah, see, there you go. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Things happen. But before we get any deeper into the episode, let's clean the garage because this thing is dirty. If you are watching us on youtube.com/carpoolgaming right now while we are live, please like, subscribe, and share. Tell all of your friends. Tell your grandma. Tell your grandma's dog. Tell your grandma's dog's friends. Tell everybody to help us grow. Make sure you also ring that bell so when all of this fantastic content in this world of carpool gaming goes live, you will know as it happens. If you have some extra bucks and you would like to tip your drivers, please head over to patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Toss those bucks in the old tip jar and out comes a cornucopia of content. So much wonderful stuff for you to listen and engage and digest and just let it be a part of you in the world of carpool. And if you're listening to us on your podcast network of choice, please slap those 5 stars down, hit a follow or a subscribe because, Court, if you do that, what might happen on this very jolly old 60-second episode of the PlayStation Drive going into the next couple of weeks?
Well, we are going to be, for the next couple of weeks, giving away a copy of Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah!
I was lucky enough to go to the source to return an HDMI cable that I no longer needed. And what happened was I saw a box for a PlayStation on the shelf. And I joked to the guy, I was like, oh, you're kind of being mean. You're showing that box. He's like, actually, we have 2 of them. And I was like, well, now you have 1. Let's do this. So I grabbed myself a digital version of the PlayStation.
There you go.
5 came with this beautiful little baby blue. I'm calling it Blue Jay blue because definitely the retro Blue Jays color there.
100%.
And then it came with a copy of Horizon Forbidden West. Thanks to our friends over at PlayStation Canada. I have already played the game. I've already reviewed it. So I thought what would be better than giving it away to our listeners.
And how kind of you to do so. Yeah, so make sure if you are listening or if you have any way of doing so, hop over to Apple Podcasts, hop over to Spotify, leave those 5 stars, leave a review, and let us know on Twitter that you've done so, and you'll be entered to win in 2 weeks. We will pick a winner for Horizon Forbidden West, and that digital code will be sent your way. Court, thanks for being dope, and PlayStation Canada, thanks for always being wonderful. We appreciate you all very, very much.
Yeah, thank you. And Lockliff.
Lockliff.
You're at Buffalo Wild Wings. Buffalo Wild Wings. That is awesome.
Locklith is the homie. I appreciate you very, very much. Keep doing your amazing stuff that you're doing over on the YouTubes. It's walking.
Oh, and don't forget to go out and get some Carpool Gaming merch. And if you join in, hop into the car here on YouTube, you will get a discount code.
Yeah.
Towards this beautiful merch.
Yeah, please do so. Because it is wonderful, beautiful merch. We appreciate all of you very, very much. So please do all the things. And now, Court, without further ado, let's get into it because we have stuff to talk about. Let's hop in the car, drive down to the local circus, open the car up, let the jazz band that plays there every Wednesday at 9 o'clock in, so that they can be our playlist for this week as they kind of just play tunes from the carnival circus for us. What have you been playing, my buddy?
Well, I have been playing Tony Hawk.
Nice.
Pro Skaters 1 and 2. I just started playing that. It's free now on PlayStation Plus. So I decided, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to start playing it again. I bought it originally on the PS4. So I hadn't played the up-res version. And I was kind of happy to hop in and it didn't carry over my save. Believe it or not.
Okay.
So that I'm able to go get trophies all over again. I don't know. I haven't looked through the options to see if I could, but my saves didn't carry over, which is what it is. Bit weird, but
It's a little strange.
and I've been as usual playing MLB The Show, like
So hold
literally.
on. I have a question. I have
Yeah,
a question about Tony Hawk
yeah,
before you go
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Any issues with the upgrades, given the fact that you've already bought it before? Because I know we were a little bit nervous given PlayStation's history with these weird in betweens. It's on essential, but also you bought it before. Any issues with the upgrade?
No. So maybe
Finally.
that's why my save doesn't work. Like I'm not too sure. My save isn't in, so I went into my hard drive and I deleted. I had a save on there because when I originally bought my PS5, I was playing it.
Okay.
I purposely went in just in case, and I deleted my save. It's still in the cloud, so if there's an able to bring in the save and pop some trophies right away, then maybe I might do that. But just in case, I deleted my save. I have also, as I promised you, downloaded Final Fantasy VII Remake, so I'm going to start playing that as well.
Nice.
And I have been playing a game on Xbox. I've been playing Forza Horizon Hot Wheels DLC because I can't stop because it's just so good.
So quick question, because this is Drive related and we love video games
Yes.
and all video games. How
Yeah.
substantial is the Hot Wheels DLC?
I probably would say that I'll probably have it done. I've only probably put like 3 to 4 hours into it, but I'm a Ubisoft gamer type player, so I go out and I clear the maps. I don't. There's nothing left unsaid.
Okay.
So I would think it's about six to 7 hours in total. I think it's phenomenal. I wish there was a game on PlayStation like this. It's just fun. There's just a lot about it that's great. I wish there was they continued Gran Turismo Sport. They didn't. I really do because I love the Gran Turismo series. But I love the more arcadey racing.
Yeah.
I always have. So that's just for me. But I'm excited to get into Final Fantasy VII.
Dude, I'm excited for you, and I'm also excited for Yakuza 0 to eventually roll over onto Extra in a couple weeks, and then see what you're going to think about that too. Get ready for JRPG August, my dude.
Well, that's what I'm debating because like there's a lot of good games coming out, and people have been saying it. And Saints Row, I want to play it, but at the same time, I haven't played Final Fantasy VII. I want to play Yakuza 0 because I told you I would give it a try. So to me, it's like, okay, I'm just going to pass on Saints Row for now. If it pulls a usual thing that happens with the studio that makes it, it'll go on sale in like 2 to 3 months and I'll just grab it then for cheap.
Yeah.
Or I'll get it at Christmas time and it'll be like $20 with all the other games that I'm going to play. So I think right now my docket is MLB The Show because I can't stop.
Right.
Hey, Sony first party, so does Sony San Diego. And then it's going to be Final Fantasy VII while playing Tony Hawk for fun. And I forgot about I added another game because I'm playing with my daughter. I just downloaded SpongeBob SquarePants Bikini Bottom thing.
Nice.
She just started watching SpongeBob, so I downloaded that as well. So I have a lot on the go.
Did you finish Stray?
We haven't. She fell off on it.
Oh.
And I don't think I'm gonna go back.
Okay, fair. You know what? I feel like you've made such a special experience out of that game. It doesn't really matter if you finished it. If you guys enjoyed it together, and who knows, she might come around in a couple of weeks and be like, "Hey, Dad, cat game." You never know.
Maybe she jumps from game to game. Like she still goes back and plays a little bit of My Little Pony on the Nintendo Switch. But she saw SpongeBob when I was going through the store. When I was doing a little research on the PlayStation Plus store for this show right here, and it popped up and in my library, and she was like, "Can we play that game?" I'm like, "Sure." She's trying to get into those. I think the cat game there was Stray. There's certain parts that kind of scare her, and it was getting a little dark.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made her not want to play it anymore.
And that's fair. Yeah, it does get a little dark as the game goes. But yeah, that's awesome, dude. I'm glad you have such a multitude of stuff that you're playing, and I'm sure even more that we'll talk about in the future. We're getting into the busy late summer, early fall, as we know. As for myself, I have been absolutely in love with Digimon Survive. I was nervous last week. I was antsy just because of the lack of reviews and everything, but I picked it up on Switch. Obviously, it's available for PlayStation as well, so you can also pick it up there. But I am absolutely loving it. This game is basically Danganronpa, but Digimon. It is very much a visual novel. First, it is dark. It is much darker than I think I was anticipating. Characters can and will die based on your choices, and apparently the last like third of the game does substantially change. There's apparently like 3 or 4 different paths that like are apparently substantially different depending on the choices that you make leading up to it. The strategy fighting mechanics are fun. They're actually more in depth than I think I was expecting. You're not going to get like Fire Emblem Three Houses level of strategy out of this, but it works really, really well. There's a lot of reading, and like I said, I'm enjoying it. It gives me like old school Digimon Adventure vibes, like the first season, but made in the lens of like Danganronpa, something much darker and something much more messed up. So really good, really, really enjoying it so far. Really excited to keep going with it. And I hopped into multiverses, and
Nice.
I have to say, dude, I think this is the first like Smash clone that I think could actually compete in the long term if it continues to stick the landing. PlayStation All-Stars I loved it, but I can understand why people didn't vibe with it because of the whole you have to special to KO. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl had a lot of hype going into it, and then like just kind of tripped over its own foot with like a lack of voice acting or other issues along the way that like just didn't really, go the way that it should. So like I feel like it kind of made mistakes that it didn't have to. Multiverses so far feels great. It really like it has a weight to it that I think Nickelodeon felt very floaty. I think it has like the iconic cast of characters that is needed for a game like this. I played, I think, for I would say probably about 2 to 3 hours so far, and I already made enough money to buy Harley Quinn, and I'm well on my way to be able to buy my next character. And I actually love that it ranges like for 2 weeks 4 characters are free, and then another 2 weeks and the next 4 characters are free, so it actually cycles, so you can actually have an opportunity to try out all the characters. I think they just delayed the first season because they want to make sure that it's ready. If it kind of continues and they're able to keep a consistent feed of content and the monetization doesn't skyrocket over the next few months, I think this game could have real legs, and I can totally see myself continuing to play it because it's a lot of fun. And like it has some really cool team mechanics. Like I was online and I was doing a 2v2, right? Weird for a game like this, but I was playing with somebody who was that dog reindeer like thing, like the original character that they created for this. And that thing has an ability that actually tethers you to the other characters. So I was Harley Quinn running around dealing damage, and I was racking up my, the percentage, and I was like well over 200. And what we would do is that I would clear characters. As soon as I get sent flying, he would tether me and like whip me back towards him. And then the next couple minutes was a dodging game for me until his ability refilled and he was able to tether me again and save me in case I went flying. So they have some really cool mechanics that kind of, make you have to work together if you really want to be good. So I think it's awesome so far, dude. Like I am really, really enjoying it.
I was skeptical because so many of these games you hop into and they're like Nickelodeon. When I first saw it, I'm like, oh, it's got Ninja Turtles, and then everybody like got off it real quick. I saw a couple people talking about Multiverse, and then they got off it. But mind you, I saw a couple people talking about Forza, and they got right off it. And I'm like still stuck in the world and still playing it and still playing MLB The Show as well. So. I'll check it out because I do love Batman, and Batman's in the game. I heard you have to unlock him, but maybe that's a goal for me. And if I unlock Batman and I'm still sticking with it, then maybe I'm in.
And that's the thing. Like I think you could unlock Batman in a couple hours. Like I said, I got to Harley Quinn within like 2 hours of playing online, and like I did. It's not like I was winning every match.
That's a long time.
To one character, I think that's pretty decent on a free-to-play game.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? Like it's not atrocious.
Watch this. I'm going to download it right now.
Yes. No, it's a ton of fun. So if anybody out there, I mean, there's cross-play and cross-progression, so like there's a lot to love in here. If you're curious at all or you are skeptical, I would recommend at least checking it out and seeing if it's for you, because I was pleasantly surprised with it. But that is all I've been playing, my dude. But let's stomp on these brakes because we have a bunch of breaking news to dive into. And let's start with a bit of an interesting story coming from IGN, written by Adele Onkers Range. Sony is already retiring Accolades, a PS5 launch feature. Sony will be retiring PS5's accolades feature later this year, as players have not used the awards-based system as much as the company anticipated when it was unveiled at launch. I forgot this existed. Court, how do you feel?
I am right in the same boat, and as someone that's even been trying out the beta this week, I think Games List will be with that as well.
Really?
I don't see because I used it and then I'm like, do I really need this? Like all it does is take my giant collection and I'll still have to go through and pick all these games and start. So all it does is create a new task of me going through and going, okay, Ubisoft games are here. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's almost like, okay, it's going to take me the same amount of time just to go look for them. And I know what game I want. I can't use the 1440p. We'll have to wait for Mr. Sean Capri when he finally gets to try out the new software and see what it looks like on that beautiful monitor he has. But I tried out the Games List and I was like, it's just not a feature. To be honest, if they're going to give me a feature, can I please, because they wanted to talk about these tiles too, and they really want to, like, they're adding it now. I noticed when you go in there, they're really pushing this to use these tiles. Just give me quick resume, okay? I don't care about the little tasks. Just as someone that plays on both consoles, it is so loving. I love quick resume so much, and it's just to go back and forth. And as someone's playing more on this PlayStation 5 right now, playing MLB The Show, I miss it. I don't want to have to go through these loading screens anymore. And that's like, I don't want to do that.
And it's so funny because it's like, even though the loading screens are fast, I'm the same way. Like when I'm on my Xbox and it's like you can have multiple games in quick resume and hop between them without any issue. Love it. For the accolades, I think this is like, it was a weird system to begin with.
Did you ever do it?
Feel like, no, I don't even know how. I couldn't even tell you how to do it. Like, I feel like it's so poorly integrated. And like, I've played online games and it's like, it never popped up. I never figured out how to use it. And it was supposed to be like an online thing, you know, where if you play with people and you enjoy it, I just want them, and even like with the game list thing, and I mean, like let's bring the story in because we are talking about already. Coming from the PlayStation blog itself, the PS5 beta introduces 1440 support, game lists, and more. Some of the new stuff that we're getting, like we mentioned, are the 1440p HDMI video output. Game lists, which are basically folders, but not
100%. That's all it is. It's just folders.
Yeah, it's folders.
They're off to the side and there's just a folder. I think there's a lot of improvements they can make. Like, I love the fact that when I was just downloading Multiverse now, it said, do you want the PS4 version or the PS5 version?
Finally.
Thank you for doing something like that finally. Yeah. But yeah, the games list thing, I was like, meh. And and also there is a warning to anybody who downloads the beta. There is a warning saying that certain games might not work properly. So I downloaded the beta, fooled around with it for 25 minutes, and then went back to the whatever the operating system that they have right now.
Nope. Yeah, no, and like that's what I mean. I haven't had a chance to hop into it yet, just because the last couple of days have been busy. But like other beta stuff, you can now request share screen if you're in a party. There's a joinable group notification. There's some other social stuff that they're working on.
But now you can annoy the person if you're in a party?
100%.
Like that's what I read. Like that's what I saw. Like what? Hey, share your screen. Yeah, I'm playing a game.
Yeah,
like,
busy.
Figure it out.
Sorry, busy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I want quick resume would be wonderful. I have to wonder if there's something with like the architecture or even the trademark that's preventing them on doing it. Obviously, they wouldn't call it quick resume, but like. Yeah, it's some of the stuff in this beta, like there's nothing for me personally out of this beta that excites me. There's nothing that I'm like, oh, I can't wait for this specific feature to hit, you know, the normal software.
And I don't like figure out, just like I already said, like, figure out quick resume. But like, do you, when you see your friends online, do you see what they're playing? Do you even look? Have you turned off notifications to even see when they're online? Have you already gone that far?
Yeah, I've already turned most of all that stuff. And I'm just like I'll hop on sometimes and I'll say like, oh, 6 people. Oh, cool. And then move on with my life because like, again, unless I'm going on to play with people who are online, then I'll check. Otherwise, I don't really care. I just want to play the game like, and do my thing.
I'm looking at right now, like activities. They're really pushing it now. Like the trophy track, the activities for each game. We don't need that. Like I've never went in there and been like, it was very cool when they showed off the PS5 and they showed you that you can look up like a trophy thing or how to do that. At the time, I was like, oh, that's very cool. But now I just want Discord integration.
Yep.
That's what I want. Because I think that's even better because you could just message a buddy and be like, hey, how do I do this? But and I want the reward system that they promised they were going to give us that we still don't have.
Yeah, PlayStation
How about
Stars.
this? Give me the things you tell me you're going to give me, and then I'll be okay.
Yeah, for me.
And then to give me quick resume.
Yeah, for me, that's the major ones. I don't know. I guess we'll continue to see. Let us know in the comments if there's anything from this beta that you're excited about, or if you're excited for the lists, or if you've ever even used
themes.
accolades.
Let me put a theme in my, like, seriously.
God, yes. Especially now when they even sometimes still do like their PlayStation reward stuff, and it's like, oh, you can get an icon on PS5, you can get an avatar for PS5, and you can get themes for PS4. It's like, no, just give me it. Let me have my theme. Let me just have Persona or Yakuza going all the time.
I feel like this update in beta is like what Nintendo just did and gave folders. And now PlayStation's like, hey, guess what? You can go to your game library, so you can see everything at the top, and then you can see the little icon that says game library. And then when you go in there, you can make some folders.
And like the thing is, it's like I've used like the pin to start more than I think I would ever use the game list folders. Because for me, it's like once I'm done a game, I delete it and move on. Like I would like to pin it there in case I'm downloading other stuff to try it out. I don't need folders. Just not something that I would personally use. But anyways, let's keep this car a-rolling. Our next story coming from IGN once again. Sony working to increase PS5 supply in time for the holidays, coming from Joe Scrubbles. Sony says it's increasing production, a made-up name, of PS5s and is working to bring more supply into the year-end holiday season. During its latest earning results, Sony explained that both software sales and gameplay engagement have dropped year on year, which is not a huge surprise given the huge increase in gaming during the COVID-19 lockdowns. I just think it's awesome too that they're communicating. We've talked a lot about Sony and their lack of communication on a lot of these services. I'm glad they're at least talking about the fact that, hey, hopefully, knock on wood, it'll be easier for you to find a PS5 leading into the holiday season, because I know this is something we've talked about extensively, but you know, you found one in the wild.
So this is the third one I found in the wild, and then this one I just bought. Like I was at Best Buy last weekend, and I was there, and I asked the girl, I said, "Hey, do you have one back there?" She goes, "We have 4." Now I purposely wanted a digital. If I was gonna get my second, Jesus, I sound very bougie when I say this. If I was getting my second PS5, which I do now have, I have one in the basement that's hooked up to my OLED, and then I have. I'll just stop talking. And then I have my second upstairs in my office because we do content creation. So I have my screens here. I have my actual work. This is my work laptop I'm touching here. And it's easy for me to, on my lunch, play a game that we might be reviewing or something like that, jump in. And this just makes it easier for me. And yes, I obviously the way I'm Jesus. I think even me hearing it, I think I'm a jerk.
I think you need to borrow Ryan's monocle for when you buy your third one. For that, that one's just to toss down the stairs for the sake of feeling something.
I think what I'll do is when the PS5 Pro comes out, I can just trade one in.
Good call.
But like, my digital is loud.
Is it?
Yeah.
Must be noise court.
Yeah, I know. But it is also different. Like, out here in Canada, I don't know what it is. I feel bad for our friends, like in the United States or anywhere else in Europe or in Australia. That for that matters.
Australia
called me a girl from no Epic Smart. So I have a funny feeling the gentleman that sold me the console from the source is in the chat. No,
what?
Yeah, seriously.
Court equals PS10. Court is a Supreme PS5. The PS stands for Supreme.
I bought this from the source. I was at Best Buy a couple weekends ago, and they've had it. I've also seen one at Walmart in the wild. And then at the source, they had it, and they had a digital, and with this little baby blue, so I had to do it. I had to. I just needed the second one.
I get you.
Plus, I was returning something, and it just happened to be there. It was meant to be.
Right.
And I messaged Sean right after, and I was like, I'm weak. And I sent him a picture, and I was just like, I'm weak. I can't not do it. I looked at it this way. I returned a wall mount for my TV that was like $200 and something. I returned the HDMI at the source that was like $50. I did the math. It was like $700 altogether, a little bit more, and I got a new console from them, and it was,
there you go.
It worked out for me.
Break
I don't
even.
know.
Not even Ryan can forecast Court making it rain like this.
Oh, well done.
That's
honestly.
good. Nicely done, Sean. That is good.
Wow, Sean's on fire today.
I was gonna say it's probably because it's like 6 a.m. for him. It's that Sean standard time.
Well, I also want to preface this of like at my point in my life, I'm in my early 40s.
Late 70s.
I'm established. I'm done well for myself. It's okay that I bought another console.
100%,
okay?
dude. Of course it's okay.
Jesus.
Of course it's okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. You will always be our Supreme Court, regardless of how many PS5s you have littered in your basement. But moving on to our next story. An interesting one, and I'm curious about your thoughts about this one, Court. Coming from the PlayStation blog itself, introducing the Backbone 1 PlayStation Edition, an officially licensed controller for PlayStation. So we basically got the announcement of the Backbone 1. The Backbone is, of course, the controller that you can snap onto your phone and be able to play remote play on it. And there was one that came out for the Backbone itself, which a lot of people are using for Game Pass. And now there's a PlayStation 1 that you'll be able to buy. Looks sick. Has a very, very nice color scheme to it. Very much looks like the PS5. Not for me personally, because I don't have an iPhone, so it's not anything that I'll ever pick up. I bought the Razer Kishi and used it very little because then I ended up getting a Steam Deck, and that's just, how life happens. But Court, is this something that you're curious about? Is this something that you pick up?
So I have one already.
The Backbone.
Yeah,
Okay.
Shocker. I know.
No, that's fine.
I have the Xbox one, but what's the difference, right? Where is it? I've used it maybe 3 times. I'll say this: your phone feels like it's on fire.
Yeah, I must get toasty.
And I didn't like it. One thing I do now is I bring my iPad. You hook a controller up to your iPad, so you can hook up a DualSense, or you can hook up a Xbox controller, because we do both here.
Yep.
And you can hook them up. Wow, that thing just pumps out heat. And you can hook them right up to your iPad, and then you can just play remotely through there. But I don't think I still, as someone that's played remote play on the PlayStation, it's not there yet.
Agreed. I feel like
it's not like Xbox. Let's be real here.
I just am not a fan generally of playing these things on my phone. There's like a disconnect in my mind that happens. Like I could be sitting there playing it on my PlayStation, and as soon as I take it onto my phone, like my mind just breaks, and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like I get distracted or whatever else happens, and then it's like my phone's battery is dying and stuff. So while I think this peripheral is cool, and for people who might not have a Backbone, have been waiting to pick one up, I do think it is a solid peripheral. I think it feels quality, and I think if you're going to get use out of it, by all means. But maybe just not for us.
Yeah, I have a Switch, and if I really wanted to do a handheld, I would.
Sean Capri in the chat. Hey, Court, if you can't find it, check under your pile of PS5s.
I actually think I know where it is, Sean. I think it's over in the corner with my SNES Mini. I think it's right there beside that Stanley Cup. If you see the background, if it's actually in the video, there's a Stanley Cup. Right beside that is a SNES Mini. And I think it's right there. It's not with my PS1 or my Xbox 360 or my NES. It's with the it's the SNES Mini. I'm pretty sure it's right there, but I don't want to get up. It's not like, you're talking about, some sort of JRPG, and I'm going to get up and leave in the middle of the show.
Right, I
like some
appreciate
people.
that. And I mean, it's
like some people.
Like some people might not be wearing pants, so let's keep it rolling.
Actually, I spilled water on my pants today. My daughter literally pulled it like an Adam Sandler. We were in the garage, and I was putting my bike up, and I was hanging it back up after a bike ride, and I lifting the cooler, and the cooler had water on it, and it went all over my pants, and my daughter literally pulled like an Adam Sandler on me and started laughing. "Oh, Daddy, you peed yourself." It was a pretty funny moment.
Atta girl, she's growing up.
Yeah,
I hope you didn't spill any. I hope you didn't spill any on your extra boxes of PS5s in the garage.
I have 2 boxes of PS5s. I have one here and one downstairs. I have a disc version and I have a digital. And my digital version sounds like a jet engine.
I'm so surprised that that's that loud. I mean, like, they're not any different outside of the disk drive.
Well, I will say this. So it's not as white. So I put them side by side. It's got like a grayish tinge, the outer shell. I know, I can see Sean. I'm just ignoring him now.
No, I'm not. No, I wasn't Sean. It was. I don't know why. It's just like the digital's less
it's
white.
not like
It just
the controller. The controller, it's very it's they went with the white and black, right? When I put the controller beside the console's got like a grayish tinge.
Fair
Oh,
enough.
Sean's not wearing pants again and eating pizza on his couch.
For someone who
That is
runs,
an image no one needs to see.
I like it. And for someone who runs a Patreon podcast about pants, I feel like it kind of goes in that direction. Let's talk about our last major story. Sony says it believes Xbox owning Call of Duty could, quote unquote, influence users' console choice. This is coming from VideoGamesChronicle.com, written by... I'm looking for the byline. I can't find the byline. It's on Video Game Chronicles.
They all took it from Reddit. Let's just go there. Or no, or where was it?
Reset Era.
Or Reset Era,
yeah. So according to the company's official response to questions from the Brazil's regulatory body, first spotted by Reset Era, which, like many regions, is currently studying the proposed deal for approval. Along with other companies such as Ubisoft, Amazon, and Google, Sony's responses to several questions about the proposed acquisition have been published in full by the Brazilian government. Sony's response, transcribed by VGC, mostly outlines the current state of AAA game development for the Brazilian regulator. However, large portions highlight the importance the PlayStation firm puts in Call of Duty, a franchise which it claims influences users' consoles choices. In the questionnaire, Sony calls Call of Duty, quote unquote, an essential game, a blockbuster, a AAA game that has no rival. So we're starting to see a bit of a crack in the dam here. We're seeing that Sony seems to be a little bit nervous about possibly losing Call of Duty one day. We do know that it's confirmed for the next few years Call of Duty will continue to come to PlayStation, but is the timer a ticking, Court?
I think that Xbox and the powers that be are going to be doing a little bit like what Disney is doing. Their movies still go to the movie theater, but they'll be on their service after the fact. And I think Call of Duty will always be available on PlayStation, but everybody will also know that if you have Game Pass, you get it right away. You'll be able to play it on your phone. You'll be playing on your tablet. So yes, you can definitely shell out the money, and if you want to play it on the PlayStation, you can. But you can also just play it on the service. There was more to this that I was very interested about. I was very interested in the fact that Ubisoft and the rest of them, they didn't care. They didn't see a big deal about this. They didn't see any disadvantages. They were just like, whatever, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. And there was the comments that PlayStation made about Game Pass and its market share, and how that market share is extremely, extremely large. I believe they said they had 70% of the market share right now in that field of the game, the
streaming,
the Netflix,
yeah,
the streaming service of games. They have that, and plus they have xCloud. Like Xbox is leading the charge, but I've said this before. When Game Pass originally launched, it wasn't that good. Yeah. I didn't think the service was that good. It didn't make me go out and buy another Xbox One. I bought an Xbox One and I sold it. And I bought a Wii U. That is such a bad decision now when I think about it. Such a bad console. And then I sold the Wii U and I got a PlayStation 4 Pro. Right. And I still never went back and got another Xbox One the Xbox One, man, terrible names. Right. When they had the 4K version and they had Game Pass, nothing enticed me. The reason I jumped back into buying Xbox was because of the Bethesda merger. And I knew, as someone that loves Skyrim, that loves Wolfenstein, that loves all those games, I knew, okay, they're going to be on the service. Okay, I'm in. And then they've made that service even better. I still think that PlayStation's original offering was way better to start. This PlayStation Plus, and I think they're communicating more now. Mm-hmm. It's kind of funny before it even started, they gave zero communication. It was very vague, just blog posts. And now all of a sudden we're getting those beats, just like Xbox does, of like, here's what's coming. And I truly, truly appreciate it. And we're seeming to get some very good games. But to say that Call of Duty can't be outdone, that is just, to me, it's a niche game. If you don't want to play that type of game, then it is what it is. I understand there's a lot of people that play Call of Duty, and there's a lot of gamers that are not going out there and buying other games. They're just buying Madden, Call of Duty, and one other game, and Grand Theft Auto, and that's all they're playing. And I know those people. I have friends that are like that. But I think that's maybe what PlayStation's more scared of, because those people there who barely play that game, any other game, they're gonna buy an Xbox.
Well, I think
Because someone's gonna tell them, hey, you don't have to go out and buy your Call of Duty every year. It's gonna be just on this.
I think you're onto something there. I don't know. I'm of the opinion that like you don't make moves like this without eventually cutting the cord. I do think Call of Duty in some iteration will continue to exist on PlayStation, whether that be Warzone, whether that be the game comes out 3 months or 6 months later after Xbox. I feel like for now they are gonna play a game. They are gonna, they are gonna let things continue as they were, but this to me reads like PlayStation feels like there's blood in the water, and they're a little bit nervous about how things are going to look like 3, 4, 5 years from now.
But they have Destiny, and Destiny's like, I like Destiny more than Call of Duty.
Right, but like I still like Call of Duty sells. It's one of the top selling,
I
if
know
not the
it
top
does.
selling
I know
game
it does.
every year, right? So I mean,
But that's why I don't think they're ever gonna. Sorry,
No, that's all good.
sorry.
I don't think they're worried about the me's and the you's who do prefer a game like Destiny. They're worried about the millions and millions of people who don't play Destiny, and like you mentioned, all they do is play COD or Madden or NFL or whatever it is that they're playing. I think they're more worried about losing the general consumer than they are the people who will stay with the console because they enjoy the other games.
I 100% agree, but I don't. I truly don't see, based on the sales of this game, financially, I don't see this being a smart move if Microsoft ever said that this game was only on their consoles. I think it would be very smart for them to continue it to be there, but it's an enticing thing, just like Disney Plus. Like Disney Plus is slowly taking over the streaming services as the #1 service. That and HBO Max, I think, are like, I think Disney Plus is already eclipsed Netflix. Like, more people have Disney Plus and talk about Disney Plus than anything else. You can still go to the movie theater and see all those things. They purchased Fox not to take it away from anything. They purchased Fox so that they could have it on their streaming service.
Right.
That's why they did it. They had no other. It's still, you can still, Fox, all that stuff is still on TV. If you pay for cable, you still can watch all those programs. They're not exclusively on their streaming service. If they have a movie coming out, it still hits the theaters. Yes, we all know that 60 days later, it's going to be on the service, which is just awesome. But I think that's where Sony's going to have to possibly, if they want to keep up with the Joneses. We know right now, as people that play, we're not getting Last of Us day and date.
No.
But when they bring out a game like The Last of Us remake, that to me would have been the perfect candidate to make that day and date.
See,
Because that's what Xbox started slowly doing, right? The Forzas of the world, they weren't there. This Forza Horizon, the newest one, that was the first one that went day and date on Game Pass.
right. So I see your point. I think for me though, like if they're willing to make Starfield, if they're willing to make Elder Scrolls, which I mean Skyrim again is one of the top selling games ever, if they're willing to turn around and make those things exclusive, I don't know. I think they might test the waters. I think they might drop one exclusive a Call of Duty, see how it sells comparatively and how much turnaround they have. Because again, like it still costs money for them to put the games out elsewhere, right? Like I wonder if they're going to do like a cost, a cost analysis to see, okay, if we don't develop a PlayStation version and we don't have to go through the extra hoops of selling it on PlayStation, how much money are we going to make if it only exists on Xbox and on Game Pass? Like you said, those games will be there. I'm really curious to see how things are going to translate over the next couple of years, because I see your point, and I think there's a very real possibility you might be right, but I can also see things going the other direction where they start getting
100%.
aggressive, because like you said, Xbox is playing the service game more than anything else right now. They are more invested in selling Game Pass to you than they are selling you the console to play it on.
And I'm here for it. And I think Sony is getting down that road. As much as there's a lot of diehard Sony fans that don't think it's going that way, when Stray dropped, I was like, okay, here we are. And you and I have already talked about it. What's the next day and date game? Maybe we'll start getting, the next Drinkbox game. Maybe they get that day and date. And these relationships they have, maybe these smaller studios, they start doing the indie games first. And it's a lot like what Game Pass did. So I'm very curious to see the evolution of PlayStation Plus. We've already talked about the premium tier it, I don't know. It's not there for me. Like extra makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm very curious. Like for me, what would make sense financially is you have them on both consoles, you have it on the streaming service, but you instead of those deals, because like Call of Duty's always had the it's here first for a month, the DLC.
Yep.
Well, we already know that it's going to be on Xbox first, right?
So
They're going to have that type of thing, but Xbox has already made like they've already done like Forza is a perfect example. I had to pay for the DLC. I didn't
okay.
get it free. So they don't give you the DLC free on Xbox.
Right. Okay.
The Battle Pass and Halo, you have to pay for it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know what you get for it because it's absolutely terrible, but you got to pay for the thing to get shaders, I guess. But it is what it is.
So
They don't give you DLC for free.
let me ask you this, because I'm curious. Do you think if, let's say, a few years from now, we get Call of Duty, Xbox exclusive, we're inching closer towards, Elder Scrolls 6, 17 years from now, do you think that there is a chance that that might be what finally pushes PlayStation to make their games day and date on the service? Do you think it's that kind of competition that will finally make them say, okay, we need a reason for people to keep playing on PlayStation? Do you think that's what might push them into that corner to say, hey, God of War 3 or whatever their good direction they're going to be heading at the time? Do you think that could be enough?
Elder Scrolls definitely, Skyrim, like that definitely could push the needle. They haven't. I'll have to double check this. I don't think Elder Scrolls as of yet is exclusive only to Xbox.
Let me fact check that right now.
I don't think it is. You're 100% right on Starfield. I don't think I thought they mentioned that Skyrim, the next Skyrim, will be coming to everything, but I think they also said it vaguely. But you're right. That could be a system killer. Well, I wouldn't use the word killer. You're not killing PlayStation.
No.
But that is a very big game. That's sold on every console, Switch, everything like that. But to my knowledge, Xbox has made it very clear that certain games, the really big ones, they're going to be on everything. Like Overwatch is going to be on everything.
So you're right in that there hasn't been official confirmation as of yet, but according to an IGN article, Joe Screbbles had written it. Spencer, in an article, Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, said that he sees the sequel to Skyrim as a similar case to fellow Bethesda title Starfield. So
okay.
So it seems like, again, while they haven't specifically 100% confirmed it, again, to me, like, I feel like we're starting to see some blood in the water, and I think that they're playing the long game here, and it's going to put PlayStation in a corner if they turn around and they say, Elder Scrolls 6, Call of Duty 2025, they're here only.
Well, I think next year is going to be a big barometer test because Xbox, yes, they didn't have a lot coming out this year. They had Halo, which technically came out last year, and they had Forza, which came out last year. They didn't have any first party, but they have a huge schedule coming out in the next 12 months, including Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo that we know we're just going to get slotted in there anyways.
Yep.
We're going to hear about Deathloop again. Yay!
Hey!
And PlayStation has some great games, but they're not day and date.
Exactly.
So I want to see, and we said this before, I want to see what third-party deals maybe they have that are coming day and date to the service, or hey, you can go play this, like these game trial things. I haven't checked them out. They don't matter. Like they're gonna go the way of the dodo. They don't make any sense. It's something we thought we needed, but we didn't.
I think it's really interesting that, like, kind of the state of the industry right now, because PlayStation very much backed Xbox into a corner, which is why you're seeing such a visceral reaction with the exclusives, with the first party. And, like, PlayStation made Xbox do that, while Xbox has turned around and made PlayStation get into the streaming game. And I feel like now it's almost like Xbox is positioned the next few years to kind of take the best of both worlds. We have Game Pass, we have your exclusives. Here are they made and marry in a very fundamental way that people understand and can appreciate. I wonder if PlayStation is going to get forced into that corner a few years down the line. They may continue. Their first party offerings, in my opinion, are still stronger than anything Xbox has to offer as a whole.
As a 100% agree with you.
So,
and if they get Square, like that rumor, yikes.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. I wonder if they will be able to continue to rest on that, because truthfully, that's what they're doing. depending on how they continue on with extra and premium, like you said, right?
Well,
So
I truly think it's going to be, and I know people are going to complain and say that, that's not the free market or whatever, but what's about to happen is, like, the rumor is now that Tencent is going to try and take over Ubisoft now. Like, they smell blood in the water and they're going for it. So Tencent is a lot bigger than Xbox and PlayStation people, and no one's going to complain. They're just going to let that one go. But when Xbox or PlayStation buys someone, everybody's going to lose their mind. There's already the rumors that PlayStation is looking at acquiring Square Enix. Those are just rumors. There's going to be, when this deal is done with Activision, we're all going to start hearing rumors again about the Xbox of who they're going to buy.
Yep.
Because that's just the way it's going to be. Them buying developers now is just going to be normal. Every year, someone's going to get bought, and then that gets added into the service. Or they're going to make deals where for the next 3 years, so-and-so's games are going to be on this service. It's either going to be on PlayStation or Xbox. That's just the way it's going to be.
Yep, and that's what I mean. I'm really, really curious to see how the next couple of years pan out, because like you mentioned, I think next year is where we're going to start to see it, because I mean, Xbox will only officially take over in, I think it's June of 2023 is when they're set to actually close. So
fiscal year starts in September. So fiscal 2023 actually starts in September 2022. So technically, no one really thinks that's going to happen, but the fiscal year actually starts in September. So technically, they can close the deal in September. That would be aggressive. I think there was an analyst on Twitter that was discussing, because everything is moving around. The fact that we're getting all these things right now, that means it's actually moving along. It's got to be approved and I guess cleared in Korea first, and then in Brazil, and it's got to go through all these places, and then everybody lets it go through, and it is what it is. People are suggesting that probably we're going to start seeing this stuff on Game Pass and so on and so forth in the new year. So you're going to have like Jan, Feb. That's probably when this is all going to go down.
Yeah,
and then that's when you're going to start hearing like that this is coming to Game Pass. Like the fact that Xbox put out 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, they put out a tweet and said, here's some screensavers and stuff for your phone. Well, did you see what games they were? It was Call of Duty, Overwatch, Diablo, and something I can't remember. All Activision games.
Yeah, so
every single one of them.
I think it depends on when the fiscal year starts, because I do know that some fiscal year, like they do.
Theirs starts in September.
Theirs starts in September?
It's September.
Okay. So then that's what I mean. Like from what I remember reading, people were saying that summer 2023 is when it'll officially be done and closed. If they do it earlier, then I think that's going to, rush timelines even more.
Yeah, the analysts are saying that it's a little bit ahead. Like I know Paul Tassi, I know Forbes, Jason Schreier said something like the rumors are it's farther ahead than they even thought it was going to be.
Well, then I guess
and look at the whatever purchase of Bungie. It's still a weird one. Partnership, I guess we're gonna call it.
Yeah.
That's done. So Sony's up. Sony can buy whoever they want now.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm really curious to see if Square Enix is really on the table, but
it makes sense.
It does make sense. It makes so much sense. It really, really does. Who's Sean Capri in the chat? Can we get a fact check on the fiscal year? Sony fiscal year ends March 31st. Who starts in September?
I read it in an article. Mr. Sean No Pants Capri.
Let's take a look. I guess Microsoft fiscal year end. So, according to Microsoft,
July 1st to June 30th. October. It starts in October. So it's not September. Sorry. It's October. Missed it by a month, Sean.
Interesting.
So it's October. So it starts in October. I'm right on their frequently asked questions about their stocks.
There you go. So that's what I mean. I guess we'll find out. I think we're entering a very interesting time for the gaming industry, and I feel like we're going to see some cool moves in the next few years, because I feel like people are going to get forced to do so. And
it's going to be great for us. I know I've said it before and people get mad or whatever, but it is what it is.
Yeah, as long as we continue to get quality content, and again, like, I feel like this is going to lull Microsoft fiscal years, I'm guessing.
Oh, so they're very first. So they started in September 19th. They were incorporated in September 19th, 1886. So 1986. That's probably why people. But yeah, their fiscal year starts in October. So technically, if they wanted to, the deal could be done in October.
So, yeah, I not Sony.
They do their announcements, and they do their announcements in September for the next fiscal year. They do September, or April, June, May. Yeah, it's we'll see what happens. It happens when it happens. It's really all it means for me. Oh, we're talking about Microsoft, Sean. Maybe that's why you're getting yeah, maybe that's why he's getting all confused. We're not talking about Sony.
Microsoft's fiscal year runs from July 1st to June 30th. Q1 goes from October to January.
There you go.
Q2 goes from January to April. Q3 goes from April to July, and then we roll into a new fiscal year.
So technically, they could close the Activision deal in October, but I don't think it's going to.
So that would be the end of Q1, 2022, 2023. Yeah. Whatever. Fiscal years are confusing, and
it doesn't matter. Regardless of when their fiscal years are, they can't do anything now. But I think the rumors about Sony looking at Square Enix just make sense. Seriously. That is definitely something they should possibly, Final Fantasy makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. In fact, even in this article you're talking about, Microsoft made alluding to Final Fantasy not being on Xbox. And then it got redacted. Whatever they said was redacted.
So I guess we will find out, my friend. The next couple of years are going to be an interesting time. But we have one question this week. I'll take this to the Discord. Good God. We have one question this week coming from Twitter from Tech with the Specs himself, who asks the best questions. I'm gonna throw the gauntlet down. I'm crowning Steve Vigvari the king of PlayStation questions, and I wait for him to be dethroned because we only got one question this week, so he becomes the king. From S. Vigvari, is an Uncrustable a ravioli? Court, I don't know what an Uncrustable is.
So neither do I.
Okay.
And I was gonna Google it when I saw the question, so I totally forgot to.
Uncrustables. Smucker's
I think an Uncrustable right now is Sean Capri because now he wants to take this conversation to Discord. Uncrustable is like, it looks like a meat, but it looks like a pie.
It looks like a Joe Louis, but
it looks like a patty, but with like.
It literally looks like a sandwich without the crust pressed into a Joe Louis shape.
Is it Uncrustable what?
A ravioli.
Yeah, it's a filled pastry, is it not?
It looks like it.
Well, a ravioli would be a filled pasta, so this is a filled pastry. So no, this is just a pastry. Am I wrong? What is it made of?
So a ravioli is a type of pasta comprising of a filling
it's
enveloped in a thin pasta dough. So,
and Uncrustable is not. It's a bread.
It's a bread.
This is not.
Debunked. Crown taken away. Next question. There is no question. But
I didn't even. Now that I even know what these are disgusting.
These don't look good.
No, these look gross, man.
These don't look. You know what? Maybe I'll see if I don't think I've ever even seen these in stores. I'll see if I can find one by next week, and I'll report back with a review on Uncrustables.
My daughter, I would not let her eat this garbage. That's not going to happen.
All right, my friend. Let's bring this drive to its finale. Court, my friend. If people wanted to see and hear more from you, where could they do so?
You can find me on Twitter at Court Lalone. You can also find me doing the socials for Carpool Gaming. And you can also find me Wednesday nights at 7:30 on Three Dads and a Console.
Make sure you go follow Court in all those wonderful places. As for myself, you can find me over at burnout_Matt on Twitter, at youtube.com/burnoutbrighter, where we talk about all things video games, mental health, and social justice. We have another giveaway going for a copy of Valheim and No Man's Sky on Steam, so come check that out. And we also have the wonderful giveaway going on right here for Horizon Forbidden West, a digital code. So again, make sure you kill us with those 5 stars, leave a review, send that over to the Carpool Gaming Twitter so we know that you're entered to win. And in 2 weeks, we will announce the winner of Horizon Forbidden West for the PS5. Once again, everyone, it has been an absolute pleasure. We enjoy speaking with you and talking about fiscal years and Court's mountain of PS5s very much. We will see you next week. Peace.
The PlayStation Drive is fueled by the Patreons who truly make us believe that anything is possible. And we'd like to thank the more than 90 patrons who support us each and every month at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. With a special thanks to our ultimate producers, Mostly Martinez, Dano, Emily O'Kelly, Dallas Ford, Trucker Soth, Jonathan Brown, who has a new album, In My Element, on Spotify and Apple Music, Drew Agnew, who is the host of the House of Mario podcast, Lee Navarro, who is the leader of the Phoenix Overdrive Extra Life team. The links are in the show notes. Please support these ultimate producers. Platinum producers, Brendan Myers, Becky Rubin Navarro, Skinny Matt, Robbie Bobby Miller. And then our gold members, Tom 4 NKS, Slicely Carosa, Anna W, The Snack Network, Foolish Fuji, Mr. and Mrs. Nasty Boots, Tony Baker, Mac Time, RJ Kern, Jose Jimenez, Ashley Nichols, Argo, Marcus O'Neill, and Dallas Robbins. To support the PlayStation Drive and get some awesome perks, go to patreon.com/carpoolgaming and select the tier that works best for you.